Welcome back, trainers, and today we have a showcase featuring one of my gym breakers partners, KurtyWurty. And in the beginning of the season, well, of this cup, I don't know if you remember, we were bouncing around ideas, and we went with Guzzlord Double Poison. And as the meta shifted, Kurdy's been trying a few things, and he found that Runerigus was absolutely core breaking so many lines. So the Rune Double Poison is his next line, and he has done insanely well. He managed to climb all the way up to 33, making it, I mean, we haven't checked the leaderboard update yet, but making it definitely onto the leaderboard, which is absolutely insane run from him. So let's have a look at the battles. So first we're going to lead into a Charjabug, and this is obviously a great lead. They're going to bring in a Sizzle, and because they swapped, we're going to get to this first. And so it does about 20 to 22% depending on if it's Shadow. And we're going to debuff it, and then before they're able to throw the Night Slash onto our Rune, we're going to get out of there, save our Rune for the Charjabug. Now they boost, which is obviously not great, but it's not a Shadow, so it's not doing insane amounts of damage. And so we're going to see if they want to fight for switch, and they do. They are quite far ahead, but we've managed to eat the first few. So now we're going to start shielding ourselves because we're already at the brine. We're going to we CMP'd, so we're going to see if they're going to shield the second one, and they do. So they really want switch, and I think at this point we can just shield and farm down, right? We're going to come out with a move for the Charjabug. The Charjabug will get a bit of a farm down, but as long as we have it on Rune, it's going to be okay. It can learn Crunch, and Charjabug with Crunch does about 48% to a Rune, so it's not great, but they're going to come in with Marwile, and it's got Fairy Wind, so this is absolutely over. In the next battle, we have Rune into Toxapex. So what's crazy about this matchup is the Brine does about 40% to a Runerigus, and the Shadow Ball only does like 33% back, but you do outpace quite significantly. So we're going to be able to get to 2 Shadow Balls before they get to 2 Brines, and that will take them out. So you do win this in the zeros, but it's, you can't massively overfarm. So we're going to get the Shadow Ball immediately and just throw it, get rid of and they have a Venusaur in the back. So this is a bit of a problem because, Frenzy Plant hits so hard into everything on our team. We're going to bring Toxapex straight in, and, you'd think baiting here is a good call, but the opponent tries to call a bait, and they get absolutely shattered by that Sludge Wave. They're going to get to another Frenzy Plant, doesn't even take us out, and they have a Jellicent in the back. And now, they have 2 shields on this Jellicent, and we have a Poison Water type in the back, so this is kind of bad. But the amazing thing about Tentacruel in the back is you can just debuff this for eternity, right? They can't swap out. So they're double debuffed. We're going to get to another one. I mean, they've got 2 shields, but what are they going to shield? You're going to shield an Acid Spray? I mean, you kind of have to at this point, but yeah, it just feels so unholy doing this to an opponent. This poor Oak. So they have to throw here. We're just going to force them to throw, save 2 shields to farm down with our Runerigus, and these Shadow Claws are going to do so much. Holy crap, they look like, charge moves. Anyways, next up comes a Dedenne, and it's got a fairy typing, so we do well into it in the back line, even though it's got electric, and they bring in a Shadow Scissor, and again we're going to do the same thing. We're going to debuff it and bring in our Toxapex, and this is actually even better than the normal one because you can see they're already at like 20% life HP, so we are going to farm up a little bit and then try and force a shield. We don't want them to get to, us too low for no reason, because this is still threatening to the Dedenne. They can't farm us down here. So we're going to full commit to the Sludge Wave to ensure that they throw immediately and dump all their energy. If we threw a Brine there, they could have maybe overfarmed a bit more, even though this Poison Jabs are doing so much. Welcome to South Africa, where weak internet is what we live with every day, and Greninja in the back, absolutely destroyed. Dragalge lead, this is kind of good to see here because the backline does not really do well into it. Toxapex is not so bad, but it destroys Tentacruel. They're going to bring in a Greninja, and we're going to instantly swap into our Toxapex. They're forced to throw Night Slashes, which is obviously does less than a Hydro Cannon. So, I mean, it would do less if Hydro Cannon wasn't resisted. And they're going to try and fight for switch here. We bait with the Brine. and get the first shield, and you know, we're easily going to get to this next one. We don't even have to shield this, we can survive another Night Slash. We are going to shield it. I guess he wants to make sure that they don't 2-shield and farm us down, and he's going to take switch. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. And we're going to last second get to a Brian here, which is going to do, you know, about 17% to this Dragalge. And now this Aquatail does about 43%, so you don't have to shield it. It does a substantial amount to Runerigus though. And then we're going to throw back with a Sand Tomb, and interesting, what are we going to do here? Okay, we're going to shield and farm. I guess we don't know what's in the back yet. It's an Azu, and this is over. Azu, yeah, if it's not on the lead, this is just dead weight against this team. We're going to straight Acid Spray and probably just farm it all the way down. Come out for a move against the Dragalge. Yeah, Opponent can be top lefting by now. That play rough does absolutely nothing. We wall all of Azu's energy, right? They go for another play rough. We come out with almost 2 moves, and you know they're gonna have to shield even this, and we're so close to a move already on our. They're not gonna be able to farm down, right? I mean, if they do, it would be bad. Okay, but we take them out already. Ooh, game versus ThoTechtical. So this is actually so sad, but we get a good lead. He comes in with Pawniard, and Pawniard, I didn't know this, so I checked. It paces 4.5 turns to a Night Slash, 5 to a X-Scissor, and 6.5 to a Iron Head, and that's insane, right? That is so fast. Anyways, so we're gonna just chip it after eating the Night Slash, and then come in with our Tentacruel. We're gonna see how Kurty decides to play this. They pace so quickly. It's 4.5 poison jabs to a move, and we're not gonna bait you in case, you know, if they're gonna shield to keep this alive, we want to force the shield. And let's see what they're bringing back. Oh, it's this game. So Kurty actually explained this and was aggrieved by this internet delay. So he got absolutely mauled by the game. But apparently it was his internet, not Niantic, so they don't have a part to play in this. But yeah, Charjabug's back in, and it's been farming, and yeah, it's totally over. So very unlucky there. Next game is a Runerigus mirror match. Obviously this is just a horrible bait game. You will probably find yourself shielding Sand Tombs at every corner, which feels bad, right? But you kind of want to get rid of this with your own rune. It's a bit risky to no shield this, and it is the Shadow Ball, so we're going to be able to outpace here. So he goes 1 over, and this looks like a CMP, but they aren't at a Shadow Ball yet, right? Because they didn't bait the first time. So this is 100% a Sand Tomb, so we can no shield this, and they will get the farm down, but they're dry. I mean, they're on 3 now, so they might get to a Sand Tomb here, but that's fine, right? Toxapex is basically a 3rd and 4th shield on this team. They bring in their own Toxapex. This is kind of bad, but we do have a shield. Even though we're debuffed, have to try and think what's in the back. So this matchup is obviously horrific. Even though debuffed, that Sludge Wave does not do a lot. And we're just probably going to try and put this into farm down range for our own Tentacruel. Let's save the shield for Tentacruel. Okay, no, we're going to bring it in here. Saving the Toxapex as a catch, and you know, resetting the debuff is always a good plan. We're just gonna farm. Oh, and they make an insane catch. It's such a random number, right? That's just one of those feelings, heart of the cards catch. And they bring back in their Toxapex. I think you probably can shield here and farm down. You don't want to get too low, right? And all this energy is probably more threatening than on Toxapex. And what's in the back? Oh, a Carbink. So watching this back, you definitely just go double Scald here. There's no reason to be acid spray baiting. I mean, even though Kurty's like 600 elo higher than I am, I have the gift of hindsight and PV poke, and I mean, especially when you're that far ahead on energy, double Scald puts them in farm down range. So I mean, it's not a throw, right? We're still easily going to make it. Well, say easily. Could have got close, but GG's and well played. This is horrible. Obviously we have two amazing responses in the back, but we have to when switch to get the alignment we need, and also depends what's in the back. You know, if Rune can manage that, we might have some play. Anyways, so we know how this works. They get to 2 Shadow Balls before we get to 2 Brines, even though are they over farming? I don't know how many fast moves we were ahead, but we need 3 to outpace them. But they're just super over farming to come out with the Shadow Ball for the Rune. And they Sand Tomb. Oh, and Undercharge. We get to a move here, so this is a huge misplay from the opponent, because we can force a second shield or switch, but it's a Greninja in the back. And now Kurty actually makes, I think, another misplay. I think you should come in and sack Rune here. I mean, yeah, I'm guessing, because we know we need Tentacruel for the Whimsicott, and yeah, now this stupid frog boosts, and now we're in a very crap position. We're going to Aspirate Bait, which is great, right? We get their last shield, and we need to somehow, maybe catching this move, or attempting to catch it. Yeah, they take us out here. Probably worth shielding, but yeah, they're 1 away from the next one. And now Whimsicott just needs to get to a move. Yeah, a Shadow Ball wouldn't take out yet. We'd need at least Sand Tomb and a Shadow Ball. So yeah, Grass Knot takes us out, and GG. Or was that a Seed Bomb? I didn't see. Pawniard lead. This is kind of horrific. So they outpace, but only barely, right, by half a turn. So let's see how Kurty decides to play this. That does like 46%. So yeah, you can only take 1. But if you want to take 1, you want it to be the first one in case they boost, right? Oh, and an amazing catch on the next one. The next Night Slash. And this does obviously way less. Using Toxapex as a shield and trying to draw out something that Rune can get a farm down on. And something that Tentacruel probably doesn't want to see. Like this Jellicent, right? And now I've played this matchup a few times, and while, you know, Jellicent hard walls all this energy, if they try and overfarm a little bit, you can actually get them really low. And you know, obviously if they overfarm too much or try and surf where, because Toxapex is so thick, the surf only does like 15%, 12%. So yeah, we almost get to the Brine there, but they throw the surf just before, and they've come on with quite a lot of energy here. So they're going to throw the surf. You have to decide where you want to spend this energy, these shields, I mean. And we're going to farm this down. I believe the Pawniard left with the move, and they throw immediately, and he catches it on the tentacle. This is amazing play by Kurty, showing us how it's done. Absolute monster. Yeah, Pawniard is so quick, and because it resists all our fast moves, farming this thing down is such a nightmare. They make it to another, and we have to shield this. We're 2 shields down. If it's not, it is an Azu. I was going to say, if it's not an Azu in the back, we are in bad luck, but it is the Azu in the back, and they swapped out, so they can clear these debuffs at some point. And now you have to decide. I mean, this might still be too much to overcome. They shield that. They're going to take us out, but our Rune has a lot of energy, right? Yeah, so we need to land a bait here. Well, we need them to shield the bait. And they do. And we outpace to the Shadow Ball. Amazing play and energy management by Kurty. And then we just need to get rid of the tiny health Pawniard in the back. And we do. GG's. Drapion, this is also really bad because it resists the fast moves on everything, right? And it paces so quickly. A Shadow, you're going to see these crunches do like 25-30%, which is pretty decent to a Toxapex. They try and catch, it seems, or they just swap out with some energy. I obviously don't want the Toxicrocoline to the Rune, so they're going to just get rid of it here, which is kind of fun, right? We have all this energy already, and Brine is kind of threatening on these squishier Pokemon. So if they're going to get to a Mud Bomb here, this probably takes out, just barely takes out. And now we're going to come in just for a farm down. We know that Rune's got, you know, the crunch will do so much more from a Shadow Drapion, so we just eat these Mud Bombs for days. They get to a second one, and I mean, it's not ideal, but it's fine because we... Oh, and there's Azu in the back. So now we need to get through this Drapion. We do have a shield advantage, and yeah, I like not baiting here. If you bait and they call it, you're in a very bad spot. So they crunch. Good notice on not shielding the first one in case you get the defense drop, but it also allows them to start baiting now. You know, obviously rather shield a Crunch than an Aquatail. And they get to another one. I've lost count, but Kurty's counting, and it's the Crunch, so that's great, and it's on CMP. So we left energy on our rune, so we just need to get this into Shadow Ball range. And with an Acid Spray debuff, this is going to be, you know, throwing on bad timing, but they could have been at the move, so rather just make sure you get this off. And they're at the move now. This probably, it's Ice Beam, that definitely doesn't take out. So we're going to throw one more, and then come in with our rune and throw the Shadow Ball. And they double debuffed, right? And while rune doesn't have a lot of attack, it does. It's Shadow Ball, right? Golbat lead, and this is a super bait game, and it feels so bad to be shielding double resisted moves, right? If you shield the Poison Fang here, oh, it feels bad, but if you no shield the Shadow Ball, you just lose. So we're going to shield the bait. We're going to not bait ourselves. It's not a Shadow Golbat, so they might be inclined not to shield, and they do. So we know that they baited their 5 off. We're going to throw 5 and 7 to Shadow Ball, 5 to Poison Fang, and we catch the Shadow Ball on Toxapex, and this is amazing. They bring out a Dragalge, which is, you know, great to not have this stuck against our Tentacruel. And what's so stiff about this matchup is, you know, well, about Toxapex in general, it's so bulky that it kind of overcomes type disadvantages. Okay, obviously, look how low it got, and that's all resisted damage. So we're going to come back in here with Rune and throw the Sand Tomb to take them out before they get to a move, because obviously that we don't want to shield. They've got Greninja. We debuff them, and then they just instantly clear the debuff, and this is fine, right? They probably should have waited to either catch or to get the Acid Spray debuff and then clear it, because it was only single stage debuffed, and now it's already double stage debuffed, and they shielded. I mean, they got 2 shields actually or something, right? But this thing is just getting farmed down. It's too squishy, and we lag. Okay, it looks like the opponent lagged out, but it seemed unwinnable for them at this point. I think that might be the last battle, and Kurty on 3390 at the end of this set, but he showed me that he made it all the way to 3333, which is the highest anyone on our team has made it. I mean, that's very impressive. So well done, Kurty. Obviously Halloween Cup's leaving tomorrow, so if you want to try this team, I did try it a bit yesterday on stream after trying a few other teams, namely firstly the Obstagoon Wholesome team, which was yeah, a great way to start the stream, like 1 in 9 I think, but we used this team and we managed to actually make it positive in the end. So great team if you want to use it. Otherwise we will see you in the next one. Thank you, trainers.